Hello, in this second podcast on why I love Verso, I'm going to be focusing on the fact that Verso's core functionality, its ease of use, and the fact that it draws on tools and processes that are familiar to any teacher that's ever used a smartphone or mobile device, really allows every teacher to innovate. And not just to innovate for innovation's sake, but to make a significant cultural shift in their learning spaces, whilst at the same time offering them data and feedback from their learners that will assist them in personalising every learning experience for every student, and also, importantly, support teachers on reflecting on and improving their own practice. So we've been hearing from teachers who've attended professional learning events where they've spent the entire day learning how to use a collection of technologies to create, curate, and share content with their students. Unfortunately, though, they often report that the majority of the day was focused on the technology and how-tos rather than the pedagogy. For many teachers, this, we know from our experience, creates a massive barrier to entry. They've often been inspired in their schools by lone innovators that were creating podcast videos and delivering them to their students using online environments such as Moodle, Life, or Edmodo, or similar spaces. And they can see the benefits in having their students arrive in class having already thought about, discussed, and shared their understanding of key concepts, preloaded, primed, and ready to go, and inspired to learn. But getting to grips with multiple technologies and learning how to manage access and behaviours in these spaces is, for many teachers, really just a bridge too far and a massive barrier to entry. For many, this really does present too steep a learning curve, and many teachers that engage in flipped learning, it's the technology curve that really gets in the way. And because of this, we often see teachers spending a disproportionate amount of their time, in some cases as much as an hour, to develop a 5 to 10 minute video to share with their learners. Yet, as I discussed in the previous podcast, the beauty of the flip really lies in what happens within the lesson space. So we firmly believe that the majority of teacher effort should be directed to class time, as this is where they add the most value and where they have planned learning opportunities, which have been planned and directed in direct response to student feedback. So the beauty of Verso for me is that it's one application that allows a teacher to create, curate, and deliver learning opportunities to their class using familiar technology. For technology like the camera on your cell phone, which I believe, we all know how to use that, and technology that most of us carry around in our pockets and to the point where we've taken it for granted. Technology which, through Verso, now connects us to every learner in our class. Okay, just to show how easy it is to create a flip using Verso, I'm going to just click on Add Flip. Then it allows me to choose content repositories, maybe a URL, something from my Google Drive. I'm going to choose a YouTube clip. So I'm going to get this clip that I've curated in my YouTube channel, give that a title, and then some instructions as to how I'd like my students to engage with the content. And then I'm going to select the class that I want this to go to, or the group of students within my class. Done. And then I just hit the plus sign, and that has now gone to my students, and the app is telling me that 10 out of 10 of my students have yet to respond. So obviously, because I've only just pushed that out. What I could do, and what really excites me about Verso, really alludes to what I was talking about in the last podcast, and the fact that I can add a flip, and rather than using curated content all the time and content that I've stacked up ready for my students to engage with, I can create content in class with my students or out on a visit, out in the school playground, or as part of my plenary for my lesson, I can record something straight to my phone and push that out to the students. So I was going to hit the record button. Now I can record just video, some audio, or maybe take a photograph of something I'd like to send around the class. So for this one, I'm just record some video using my phone. Obviously, I think we all know how to use the camera on our phones. Just the dogs outside, they're having a little sleep. And when I've got the video, that's now gone into the phone. I can use that. It's gone in exactly the same way as before. I'm going to give that a title. So this time test 2. Then again, some instructions carefully about the content. It's going to my science class, and when I'm ready, I just hit the plus sign again. That will now be uploaded to my YouTube channel, where I can use it, repurpose it in other channels, and then that will be pushed out to my students, ready for them to start having those initial learning conversations and giving me visibility on students' thinking and preparing them to come to my lesson. Couldn't be easier.